Hello, I'm so glad that you could join with me today. Let's start here. Justice card is often referring to a sense of completeness to a situation, a sense of fairness being restored. Getting some of you will be finding out that your court cases have gone according to the way that you desired them to land in the face of justice. There is also a karmic aspect to the justice card, so I'm getting that. Well, some of you are dealing with actual legal situations, and these are going in your favor. Some of us are starting to witness the actual, universal karmic justice that occurs when we've been done wrong, and we decide for our own self, for our own sake, that the best answer is not response, is not to give that energy away, to not add any more to that situation at all. So it feels very much like there's a number of individuals who had chosen in the past that this is not my battle. This is not something that I feel necessary to get involved with anymore. I'm not going to lower myself. I'm not a matched energy type of a person, which I highly suggest we consider not allowing other individuals to affect how we feel and how we behave. If their energy is so toxic that you have to match it, you shouldn't be around this person. And while some people say, well, I can't, let me assure you that I have spent a number of holidays very much alone, simply because I refuse to match energy with people that don't have my best interest and don't have my safety in mind. Sometimes that's the decision that we have to make. Sometimes we just have to look at a situation and say, I can't fix this. This isn't for me to fix. And so we choose to remove our energy from it. We refuse to get involved. We refuse to lower ourselves. We refuse to allow this person or this situation to change who we are and how we feel. And it's difficult. We call it walking the high road, but really it's often very lonely, and sometimes it feels awful to do that. Sometimes it feels like you're leaving your dignity there. But you choose to for your peace. You choose to because what is more important to you is just getting out, getting away from these people. You don't care what they have to say about you. If you've ever been involved with somebody who is narcissistic or abusive in some way, whether that's a mental health issue or not, doesn't matter, you will recognize that sometimes maintaining your peace and justice and being saved for you means that this person is going to go on and say all kinds of untrue, terrible things about you. And you let them. That's fine. Because the people that know and love you know that these things aren't true. The people that know and love you are not going to sit there and sit by that and allow that to occur. Now, I watched it occur. And I also watched people that I thought understood things from my perspective question and then receive even more untruths in defense of these statements, and then go, oh, well, I guess I can, they thought that the balance there was even though I wasn't there to speak. And I let them. Let them say what they want to say. Because you feel at peace and you were able to walk away from that. Now, fast forward, you did that. Okay, you walked away, you managed your peace, and now you start to see for your own life why that was necessary. Because number one, it strengthened you to be able to recognize balance of energy. You were able to recognize that if I want goodness, I have to be goodness. If I want that back and forth, I can play the back and forth. That isn't what I want, though. If you play the goodness and you remain on that side, and you do not devolve, and you do not lower your standards or your behaviors, you do not try to match nasty energy, the universe will balance it out for you. And if you're lucky, you get to watch. If you actually remove yourself from that situation and stop contributing to it and walk away from it, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen immediately. You've been at peace. You may be far removed from this situation. And that time is relative to the individual in the situation, but you may be pretty well removed from this situation. It doesn't feel like you're in this situation, but you get to watch. You get to see, like, and I don't laugh because it's like, haha, that's not what it's about. It's about, oh, they thought that they were going to get away with it. They thought that it wasn't seen by spirit. Oh, no. Everything is seen by spirit. Even what you think nobody else knows is seen by spirit. Your intentions are seen by spirit and felt by spirit. And if you make a concerted effort to do the right thing and to be a good person and to consistently do that, when wrong happens to you, if you maintain that, the universe will balance it out for you. You will see justice. That's not necessarily justice to you, but you will feel the karmic influence as well in a different way. Not only do you have your peace, but you also get that understanding of balance in the universe. And there's a great benefit to that. For some of us individuals, we're dealing with things that it doesn't necessarily feel like justice is possible. There's really no way to like give back what was taken from you. So when this card comes up, the universe is trying to show you that there is a balance to this. There is a give and a take. And if you have been giving and 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 giving, that imbalance has to be rectified somewhere. So if you felt like your side of things was a lot more effort, you put a lot more into this, you've pushed a lot harder, you tried a lot harder, you had a lot more to endure, you weren't feeling as though things had worked out in that balance, and now you're starting to see that it actually has. You were the one that got away with the better end of the deal here. And I said, it's not always an obvious thing. I'm getting for some of you, there's quite a bit of time that you've looked back and you went, oh, you kind of maybe just had some realization. Some of you just found some things out recently about a situation or a person. And it's just, there's a certain level of satisfaction to it, to just know that you made the right choice. You did. It was tough. It was humbling. You might have had to start over entirely. You left some friends and family behind, but you chose what was right for you, which was your peace. And the universe saw and felt that energy and was like, we're going to make sure that this individual gets all the peace that they need, because that's what was right and that's what was good. And we have to balance this out. We're going to go ahead and balance that out. So, justice for a lot of you. These two cards are talking about some individuals who have done some very good work on themselves recently. They have spent a tremendous amount of time building their intuition and working towards becoming more in touch and more in tune with their higher selves, learning to transmute energy, learning to alchemize the energy that's brought into their life, and create the experiences that they want. There has been some acts of faith, some leaps of faith that have had to take place. You have had to make some decisions that perhaps other people would not understand from your perspective. They might think you're a little, we won't say that word, but because of the fact that Spirit feels that you have trusted the process, you have trusted yourself, you're learning to love yourself, and you're learning to maintain that energy You're learning to alchemize the situations that come to you in your best interest. Spirit is guiding you to the next phase. Now, there is some undeniable place or experience that you keep getting drawn to. For some of you, this is a specific location that you need to travel. For some of you, you don't know where yet. You just feel like you need to travel. I need to go somewhere. I'm not where I need to be for this. All of that comes to you, but and in fact, I would even say that when the opportunity presents itself, or when you go to book that trip, wherever it is that you've decided, that's where you're supposed to be. You're not going to mess this up. You're going to be naturally drawn to this. Somebody else is going to draw you to this. It's going to be an invitation that you're drawn to this. You're going to see an advertisement to be drawn to this. Something is going to guide you exactly where you need to be. All you need to do is say, yes, I believe this. Yeah, that's for me. Oh, this feels good. If it feels difficult, if it feels bad, if it doesn't feel like something you'd enjoy, you don't do it. Very, very simple intuition test. How does it feel in here? Does it feel good or does it feel bad? You see a location and you go, ooh, that's beautiful. That's go. And in some situations, I'm getting from Spirit that it doesn't necessarily matter where you go. It's about the experience that you have there. For some of you, it's a specific location and there's some connection to that location. Maybe it's a place that you're going to be moving. Maybe it's a place that you go and you meet someone or something along those lines. But for some of you, this is just about you discovering something as you are going somewhere. You are being drawn to a destination. It does not need to be halfway across the country. It doesn't mean it's a tropical island. Some of you may just be drawn to go to the cemetery and pay your respects to your ancestors. Some of you may be drawn to go visit a family member that lives right in the town next to you. You haven't seen them in a while. You have to just kind of trust and believe that this is the fullness of this experience. Now, I'm also getting that these specific connections have a prompt involved. So the connection occurs, you go to the location, you're in the location, intuition, you get there, you're there. That's when the true depth of why you're there starts to kick in. It's not going to necessarily make sense until you get there. Spirit can't drive you there, drop you off, give you a notebook. You have to actually trust yourself. Go out, do the things that you're being called to do. If you're being called to go on a road trip, go on a road trip. If you're being called to go to a specific store over a different store, go to that store instead. The specifics don't matter. These are going to occur. This is going to occur in levels across different people. So it's going to be just a wide variety of situations that this is referring to. I'm not getting any specifics for any particular individuals. I definitely feel that some of you, this is more about a personal retreat. It's more about your own health and well-being. Whereas for some of you, this is about reconnecting with important people in your life. I'm definitely getting that there's some individuals that need to go and pay their respects to some elders, or make sure that things are right with some individuals. They need to clear the air with some individuals. So there's some specifics there for some folks, but this is a wide arcing kind of an energy. We have to understand that when we're being led somewhere, there's a reason for it. It's some aspect of the next step of our personal growth, of our personal goals, of our manifestations. And if you don't trust where you're being led, you're never going to fully see the realization of what it is you're trying to manifest. Spirit cannot necessarily drop every experience into your living room. It's not going to land on your front porch. So sometimes you're going to be called to places. You're going to find a way to go. You want to go. It's just going to work out that you can go. You don't have to stress out about it. It feels right. It works right. And then you get there and you start to recognize, number one, how truly powerful it is to be connected to your intuition. There's going to be this moment of, that's why I needed to be here. I would have never expected that. So for some of you, I'm getting these are very not necessarily what you would have expected out of the situation. So if you're going on a family trip or something and you have some massive personal revelation, you may not have been planning for that. You may have been going to pay your respects to an elderly person and meet a new connection. And you're like, okay, well, I definitely wasn't expecting that. You're not supposed to know. You're supposed to learn to trust yourself. You're supposed to just follow these instincts and go there. Because as you do, not only does it enhance your intuition and your ability to follow this, it opens you up for the possibility of potential to everything else. That means that every time I follow my intuition, every experience that I have has this potential to be the next piece. And I don't know if I'm not open to it. So the most important message that I can give you here is start being more open to trusting your intuition and allowing these things to take you out of your comfort zone, to take you to different places, to explore new aspects of the self. You don't have to be the same person year after year after year. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to find new ideas. You're supposed to expand your consciousness in every way possible. That's what we're here for. What else are we doing when we're here? Work, sleep, die? Is that what you're here for? I get up, I go to work, and I go to sleep, and eventually I die. No, there's so much here. Capitalism wants you to work, sleep, die. That's not natural. That's not normal. That's not what human lives are supposed to be about. It's the stuff in between. It's the enriching moments. And they can be little moments. They can be a 35-second moment that you interacted with a human being at a store, and instead of being rude, you were kind, and that ripple impacts all across humanity. There's little tiny things that we can find joy in. There's little tiny moments. I've found that just listening to a child talk to their mother while standing in line at the grocery store gave me such an incredible rush. Memories of my child talking to me, how that made me feel, how sweet and innocent that voice was, and just the curiosity, the question, the barrage of questions that were coming to the mother. And I see the mother and just, yes, yeah, okay, trying to do the things. And I remembered all these wonderful aspects. That 1 minute, not even an interaction, just where I was. I wasn't at a grocery store I go to all the time. I went to a different one. I just felt like it. I'd already seen everything at that store. Go to a different one. And that moment brought something back to me that I hadn't felt in a tremendously long time. It was such an incredible joy to just listen to the sweet child talk to their mother, and to see the mother and be like, yeah, I remember that too. And it was beautiful. It was such a beautiful experience. All of these little tiny moments happen to us every day. And if we trust ourselves and just allow ourselves to be guided into these and just be open to the possibility of what each of these moments offers, we're going to find that life is so much more enriching and rewarding. The eternal child. I very strongly, as soon as I pulled this card, I was like, this is about reconnecting with the child self. This is about reconnecting with your youth. This is about reconnecting with the pieces of you that you hid away from the world to protect yourself. There are some individuals who did not get to experience childhood the way childhood is meant to be experienced. I felt that about myself. My experiences involved being very responsible, and I had to be very concerned about what was happening next. I had a lot of health issues. I had home and resource stresses, and then on top of this added responsibility of being the mature older child. As early as I can remember being like 7, 8, 9 years old and being put in charge of another small human being. Watch them. Make sure nothing happens to them. And the intensity of the obligation. And not that the parents, we're not blaming parents here. I'm not blaming anyone. This was what had to be done. But the intense responsibility of that made it very difficult for me to be able to relax and enjoy myself and be a child myself and allow my mind to wander and be curious. You can't sit and wander and be curious if you're concerned about what that toddler is doing, and we know toddlers move much faster than 8-year-olds. Not that an 8-year-old is a slow-moving individual, but toddlers are a little bit reckless, and the responsibilities that were placed upon you as a young child, whether it be from health conditions or struggling for resources or being in a dangerous situation, feeling protective over younger individuals in your situation. All of these different situations and many more, right? Mommy's little helper, daddy's little king, mommy's little man of the house, daddy's little, mother figure. Thanks for picking up all the slack, sweetheart. All of these different situations you took so deeply inside and made it your responsibility. And you could see no other way out of it. And so as you became an adult, as you deal with all these adult situations, even as a young person, and then as you become an adult, you're continually just adding more responsibility and more things on there. But what you'll find is that there is just a deep longing to connect with youth, with your youth, with things of your youth. A lot of individuals will find that this starts with a fascination with nostalgia. So things from their childhood all of a sudden become things that they want to collect. There were specific toys that I had when I was a child that I initially remembered having to give up, or that they broke, or I don't know what happened to them, whatever the situation. And I want that again. I'm an adult. I have no reason to have a Rainbow Bright, okay? But all of a sudden, I wanted my Rainbow Bright doll back, and that was it. Until I dug a little bit deeper into my healing, and I'd spent some time meditating. I'd spent some time working on that connection. I started to realize that what it was is that I had this longing to go back and complete what I felt like I never got to complete. I felt like at some point I was just ripped out of childhood into full-on adult mode, and I don't remember when that happened. But it felt like it happened, like my toys were ripped out of my hands. Like so often it felt like responsibility came before my ability to play. And so we lose that as adults, and we become very responsible adults. We're very good at adulting. We get all the things done. We handle the jobs. Somebody's not doing it, I will. I'll pick up the pieces. I'll do that. That's my job. I'm very good at that. But we lose track of the opportunities that we have to play. And so that connection to our youth, to our childhood, in some ways we'll begin in that, and then we'll start to dig into those repressed memories. And it's in those repressed memories, it's in that where we start to really remember the things that started to change us. And as an example of what one of my feelings that occurred was remembering the love of performing. If you know me today, you know that I choke. And I had to dig deep back into that and go, why do I choke on stage? What happened as a child that changed me? And I had to start thinking of all of my experiences on stage, of all of my experiences in public. And while there was so many of them that I felt incredibly connected with joy to, there was a few that there was a little, what's there? And then I had to dig a little deeper. And then I remembered, after this happened, I found out this, and it crushed me. After this wonderful experience, somebody said this to me, and it crushed me. So now I have this opportunity to not just be childlike, to look at the world with childlike curiosity as an adult, but to actually dig into these experiences and go, but I do love to be in a performance state. I love to sing. I love to dance. I don't care if people watch me. But something changed me as a child, and I held on to that this entire time. We hold on to all of these experiences, and so as adults, when we're here today, it's our responsibility, and it is a benefit to our experiences to lead the most enriching life that we can, and that involves reconnecting with the child. It involves digging back deep into the things that you loved. Did you love riding your bike? Did that give you a sense of freedom? Did you used to do that every single day? Do you do it today? Do you take, maybe not every day, but can you take time today to go and reconnect with something that you truly enjoyed? For some of you, it was drawing. You used to draw every day. You used to color every day. And you had to walk away from it because it wasn't a way to pay the bills. So, do you take time to sit down and draw and enjoy yourself and allow your creativity to flow? Even if it's not drawing, do you do some kind of art? We want to continually embrace who we started off as. There was a little girl who loved to perform, who loved to sing, who loved to dance, who loved to do all these things. And just these different experiences kind of built a wall. And it took me a very long time to uncover that. And so with this card, I want you to reconnect with your child. I want you to reconnect with the little you, and I want you to be kind and loving and gentle and say, now, what do you remember? What did you experience? What did you love to do? What did you love more than anything? And go out there and get it. Go out there and love that child. Go out there and enjoy parts of your life that you can in the ways that you can do it. Maybe you do like to color. Maybe you do like to draw. Maybe you like to sing. Maybe you love to run. Maybe you love to ride your bike. Maybe you want to play a sport on a team sport because that was one of the best times in your life. There's no reason why we cannot connect with who we were as children, because that is who we are. That is the core of our self. That's the most innocent version of self. The most innocent, purest version of who we are, the most authentic who we are, started back there. And then we started putting layers of protection up. This is about uncovering some of that. This is about starting to peel the layers back and starting to truly understand who you are, who you were, and who you are destined to be. By reconnecting with all of that innocence, with all of that vulnerability, with all of that authenticity that you as a child, that unfiltered child experienced, it's a new way to view the world today. So I hope that you take some time today to nurture that inner child and show that inner child that she's so loved and he is so loved and cared for. And they are so valuable to the world. And they've done so much good work. But there is still time to play. There's still time for fun. And there's still time for joy. And there's still time to add new skills and learn new things. Because that is what really gives us a sense of fulfillment, is when we continue with that mentality that I'm not done yet. It's not work, sleep, die. It's get up in the morning and do something fun. Watch cartoons while you have coffee. But we often forget that we can be children. We can enjoy that. And if you have children, especially if you have young children, go get in it with them. Get on the trampoline. Get in the pool. Go on the rides at the amusement park. Go run around in the grass. Go sit on the grass with your children and pick dandelions and make a crown again. Do whatever it is that you are called to do in the moment. Experiencing your life from that childlike perspective is the greatest gift that we can have. This is what it's truly about. Continuing to look at the world with so much potential. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that this message is reaching you in a way that speaks to you and provides some clarity and validation to your life.